We often feel like we exist, and even when we're relating to Hashem, there's two separate entities. There's me and there's Hashem, because I exist. So there's two separate entities. And that's when I'm doing holy things like learning Torah and davening. I feel separate from Hashem. How much more so when I'm dealing with worldly matters, when I'm having to, grocery shop or pay bills or whatever. Of course, I feel separate from Hashem. Says the Rebbe, no. You need to be like Rashbi, and not just be like Rashbi. You need to be like Rashbi in the final moments, in the culminating moments, in the climactic moments of his life, where he's totally united with Hashem. United, on fire for, cleaving to. That's all of us. And not just when you're learning Torah and doing mitzvahs and davening, but even when you're involved in your mundane affairs. How's that possible? So Rebbe actually explains something very interesting. Two levels in being involved in worldly affairs. And they're both based on expressions from Torah. One is an expression of the sages of Kol Ma'asecha yu l'shem shemayim. All of your deeds should be l'shem shemayim, for the sake of heaven. The other is an expression from a verse from Shlomo Melech, King Solomon. B'chol d'rachecha de'ehu. You should know him, meaning Hashem, in all of your ways. So the Rebbe says these are actually two different levels. Ma'asecha yu l'shem shemayim, your deeds should be for the sake of heaven, means it's ma'asecha, your deed, you're doing it for yourself, but you can kind of figure out a way how it could translate into something that would also benefit Hashem. So you take the thing that's your thing, but you give it a higher purpose. That's one level. And in that state, definitely there's you and there's Hashem. They're two separate things. But then there's another level. B'chol d'rachecha de'ehu, you should know Hashem in all of your ways. That means that even when you're going about your day-to-day life and you're dealing with mundane stuff, bills and air conditioners, thermostats that are not working even though they're brand new and you just paid a ton of money for it, and all that stuff that seems really worldly and really physical and really having nothing to do with being holy. What are you talking about? Hashem is creating the world every single second, something from nothing, like the Baal Shem Tov taught. Every single detail of reality is instructive, is informative, is communicative. If you're experiencing it, Hashem is talking to you. So even when you're doing mundane stuff, not just when you're learning Torah, when you're doing mundane stuff, know Hashem. And the Rebbe mentions, by the way, that knowing Hashem, the word da'ehu, know him, is from the word das, which is va'adam yoda eschava, that Adam knew Eve, meaning he knew her in the biblical sense, intimately, meaning they had marital union and they had children. So knowing doesn't just mean knowing like, yeah, I have some information in my brain. Das, knowing, really means intimate union and attachment, like marital union. That even when you're doing your mundane stuff, you experience this in a manner where there's no separation between you and God. You are living God's life, so to speak. How do you approach such a concept? There's an old story. I've told it many, many times. One of my favorite stories. It's not a real story. It's a parable. But a guy's driving in his car, and he's really hating life. And he actually says to God, he's not a religious man, but that moment he prays, he says, God, I hate my life, give me a new life. And when you know it, at that moment in his car, God answers him and says to him, I got a new life for you. He says, great, give me my new life. God says, hold on a second, it's not free, you got to pay for it. He says, okay, how much is it? God says, how much do you have on you? $20. God says, okay, you're in luck. The price of your new life is $20. He says, if I give you my $20, the guy's driving in his car. He says, I'll give you my $20. You see, the gas tank's almost on empty. I'm not going to be able to fill the tank. So, it's going to be kind of a problem if I give you all the money I've got. God says, that's a really good point you bring up about your car. Yeah, the price for your new life just went up. It's $20 in your car. Guy says, if I give you my car, how am I going to get to work in the morning? God says, oh, you're gainfully employed. You have a job. That's great. The price for your new life is $20, your car and your job. The guy says, if I give you my job, how am I going to pay the mortgage? Oh, you have a mortgage, a homeowner? The price for your new life is $20, your car, your job, and your house. The guy says, if I give you my house, where are my wife and children going to live? Oh, wife and children, what a blessing. The price for your new life is $20, your car, your job, your house, your wife, your kids. The guy realizes he just is making it worse every time he opens his mouth. So at this point, he's not going to speak anymore. He's going to shut up. So God says, okay, you ready? Give it to me. The guy doesn't want to speak anymore. Okay, God says, all right, now, before I give you a new life, I want to know if you can do me something. You see this $20, God says, it's not your $20, it's my $20. It was yours, it's mine now. I want you to spend it, but it's not yours. It's mine, but since it's mine and you're spending it, you can only buy things that I want to buy. Can you do that? The guy says, Okay, see this car, God says, you used to have a car just like this, didn't you? Yeah, you don't. It's my car now, God says. But I want you to drive it. You're going to drive it. But since it's my car, you can only take it where I want to go. Can you do that? The guy says, God says, you see this job. It's not your job. It's my job. But you got to show up there every day for me and do business the way that I would do business. Can you do that? The guy says, God says, see this house. It's not your house. It's my house, but I want you to live in it. But you have to live in it the way that I want my house lived in. Can you do it? See this wife and children. They're not your wife and children. My wife and children. Can you treat them like that? The guy says, God says, okay, great. So here's your $20. Here's your car. Here's your house, your job, your wife and kids. And here's your new life. What was the difference between the old life and the new life? It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. Question is, whose is it? Whose is it? So the Rebbe is saying here, we can feel like we're separate from Hashem to the extent that even when we're learning Torah, we feel separate from Hashem. Even when we're doing mitzvahs, we're doing mitzvahs. I'm doing the mitzvah for Hashem. Or we could come to a level where it's all Hashem. And when we come to that level, then even when we're doing our mundane stuff, even when we're folding our socks, they're not my socks. Whose socks are they? They're Hashem's socks. There's no separation. There's no two entities. It's all oneness. Intimate oneness. Da'ehu. Moshin das. Adam yodes chava. Actual bonding. Like a husband and wife become one. The Jew and Hashem become one while he's folding socks. Hey, this is Shais Taub. You were just watching a clip from this class. If you want to get the full context, the full class that this clip that you just watched was from, you watch right here. Click right here. Here.